Under here, we've dealt with 14 years of this.
Tonight, for the first time, our cameras show what it looks like inside one of Richard Donahue's properties in Janesville. City documents back up what we saw: unsanitary kitchens and bathrooms, holes in the floors and walls, and sewage. Donahue is the landlord that delivered notices to 119 properties, ordering tenants to vacate their homes in 28 days and find a new place to live. Thanks for watching us tonight. I'm Mark McPherson.
And I'm Maria Lisignoli. Renters we talked with say they've lived like this for years. And tonight, 15 Investigates Elizabeth Wattis illuminates how safety hazards were ignored for so long.
She also learned what city and state leaders can do to prevent other renters from having to live this way in the future.
Put your foot right here. You can feel it go down.
That's Janesville renter Carl Hillman.
I guess it's deteriorating more.
Showing 15 News where his wife fell through a hole in their kitchen floor.
Fortunately, she didn't break anything. I'll show you the water.
Follow him to the basement.
And it gets a little humid.
Make sure you have an extra pair of shoes and even a mask.
See what we have to do. We have to go through dirty water.
According to city documents,
okay,
this mess is a sewage backup. Landlord Rick Donahue was ordered to fix months ago. At the beginning of February,
now he's giving us these notices.
Donahue ordered Hillman and more than 118 other tenants to vacate their rental properties.
We have to leave
on a 28-day notice. Donahue says he's retiring.
Absolutely no place to go.
We always try to learn from tragic situations, and this really is a tragic situation.
Mitch studies rental housing law at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. He's also a rental property owner. Not only does he say it's tragic so many people have to find new homes so suddenly, he says it's a shock to learn how these people have been living.
What more can be done to prevent that from happening in future situations?
15 Investigates found complaints reported to the city about Donahue's properties in the last 5 years, 300 of them. We also uncovered hundreds of violations inside homes like Hillman's that, according to the city, Donahue has never addressed.
I mean, he owns the property that, we've asked him several times to fix it, did not fix it.
The city of Janesville is now suing Donahue for about $27,000 for dozens of ordinance violations. Things like no heat or hot water, rodent infestations, hazardous electrical systems, and unsanitary interior structures. Donahue denied all the allegations in court.
The city does already have a lot of powers in its laws.
Even with the city's open cases, this law professor says the city could have done more to protect renters, including following up on inspections. For example, here's one order from the city to Donahue for one of his properties. He was ordered to make repairs on March 31st, 2023, with the city re-inspecting 1 month later. But the city didn't go back until July. And then another 5 months went by until the city re-inspected it for a third time in December. What could have taken 60 days to follow up on took the city 8 months. And still to this day, the city says Donahue hasn't done what he's supposed to.
I don't know why there was that level of delay. That really does sort of shock the conscience.
Another thing the city could have done, imposed harsher fines.
They're being written up, so the city is aware of them, but those violations are resulting in a $100 fine, a $100 reinspection, and months of time to fix those things.
$100 isn't much of a fine.
No, not when you're living with sewage.
According to Janesville statute, the city could have fined Donahue more than 5 times that in court, but chose not to.
It's already within the city of Janesville's power to fine up to $500 per day.
28 days now passed.
It's been really, really hard.
Hillman continues his search for a new home.
It's hard for me when I get emotional.
Hoping to find something affordable and safe for his family. Another obstacle renters face, according to Mitch, in Wisconsin, he says the law favors landlords over renters. Mitch says if a landlord wanted to evict a tenant, the case could move through court in 2 weeks. Now, on the flip side, if a renter does sue their landlord, it could take months for a court judgment. According to court records I checked, Donahue has filed over 360 evictions within the past decade.
All right, Elizabeth, you have been in touch with Rick Donahue. What does he have to say about everything going on?
Yeah, he said he couldn't talk to me on the phone. He couldn't do an on-camera interview. He could only text me because he was on vacation. But while he was texting me, he did blame some of the issues on tenants. He said that he wasn't aware of others, and he said that he had fixed some himself. Now, he ended the text with a statement he wanted to share, so I wanted to pull that up. He says, quote, "After 30 years in the business, I'm retiring. I would like to thank all my customers for their past patronage and wish everyone a great future." Now, the following day, I didn't respond, but he did send me a picture in a text that I think is worth sharing. Let's pull that up right now. This is what he sent me.
The Eiffel Tower.
What is, yeah, the Eiffel Tower.
A picture of the Eiffel Tower with a text that followed saying, quote, "View from room." So once Donahue gets back from Paris, I'd love to sit down and talk with him more about the rental situation at his properties and all the orders from the city to fix problems that the city says he has not. Hopefully he'll take me up on that.
Elizabeth, thank you. Now, like Elizabeth said in her story, Donahue pleaded not guilty to property violations. He's due back in court in May. You may also remember just last month, Donahue was ordered to pay more than $600,000 in a settlement over a federal lawsuit saying he sexually harassed and retaliated against 13 female tenants for more than 20 years.
The settlement also states that he is no longer allowed to manage any residential rental property from now on. In other places in Wisconsin, like here in Madison and Milwaukee, if a landlord doesn't fix a city-identified problem within the given time frame, a renter automatically can stop paying rent until it's addressed. We asked the city manager in Janesville if that's something the city is looking at implementing.
We have looked into different avenues to try to force compliance. And so I think that that would be something that we would be interested in. And so we would like every tool in the toolbox to get landlords to comply because they do need to correct those life safety issues.
Elizabeth also asked City Manager Kevin Lehner about the gaps in inspections at Donahue's properties. He says Janesville has a very active code enforcement process in place and inspectors who are dedicated to residential properties. He says it becomes really difficult when a problem landlords consistently don't comply, forcing the city to take the owner to court, which he says is a lengthy process. Now, Lehner says he wants the city to explore a more proactive approach to code enforcement that would allow them to issue more significant fines to landlords quicker.